Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Landy here with my husband, Roddy. We sit in the Herman Park in Houston, Texas. And for this video, we're gonna show you 3 houses. And in the end of the video, we're gonna tell you which one we give offer and how that's going.
And for those of you who don't know, like I said, I'm Roddy, this is my wife Landy, and with our son Louis, we moved to Querétaro, Mexico in 2021 and talk about life as a family, as expats, and how to retire early through real estate.
So let's get started.
So for those of you who are just joining us, let me summarize real quick. We took off from Querétaro, Mexico about a week and a half ago, and we drove to Houston. Yeah, that's a long drive. On the way, we stopped in San Luis Potosí, and we had a little incident there. From there, we drove to Monterrey and hung out for a couple of days, enjoyed the town. And then we crossed the border into McAllen, where we visited my family. We hung out there, did a lot of things, quite more things than I expected. You know, when I think about McAllen, I always think it's not that much to do, but we had a good time. And then from there, we drove up to Houston. And in the time here, we've already seen 3 houses. We've only been here 3 days, and in our first 2 days, we saw all 3 properties. So we're gonna take a little view, see what you think. And let me warn you right now, some of the houses are pretty messy, but that's the life of an investor. So we just got done seeing the first property and walking through with our contractor, Anthony. That house is a little strange to say the least. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like the owner did some weird, try to be creative jobs, but he didn't do a good job. He didn't know what he's doing there.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue when people try to take on a project by themselves. A lot of times, I think we even joked about it with Anthony, like people go to YouTube and they think, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can put the tray ceiling in. And they start to do it and they realize why you pay professionals. Yeah, you could tell a lot of the work was very haphazardly done, a little bit sloppy. It's like the tile in the bathrooms and that one bedroom that looked like a bathroom tile. Again, kind of strange, but you could tell they didn't lay the tile down quite right. So you'd have to rip that out anyway.
Yeah.
So that house, what about the pricing and what was going on there?
They were asking this house for $129,900, let's say $130K. When I first time saw the deal, it was $139. So after 1 week, they keep dropping. Now it's $129. And they put after repair value for the market is $225, which is acceptable.
Yeah.
I saw some higher comps. It can reach to $250-ish.
Right. But you got to remember the markets. I think that's why they were being conservative. The market is changing, so it was a good price.
Yeah, even market changing, this price is much lower than the Houston median market price. So I don't think the price will drop too much.
Right.
Maybe a little bit, or like days on the market might be a little bit longer, as the interest rate already raised up to about 7%. So lots of people may still waiting and see.
Right. So from this house, we actually already had our second house, an appointment with our agent from a wholesaling company. So we ended there, said bye to Anthony. He said send us some pictures or videos. He'll take a look to give us an idea of what it might cost to fix the second property.
For the first 2 houses we see in the same night, actually we give offer on the first one.
We did give an offer,
Right,
correct.
because Anthony gave us a roughly rehab cost somewhere 50 to 60K.
Yeah,
So-
it was maybe about 50, 60K. I mean, I know it looks like a lot of work, but not so much when you kind of put it all together. 50, 60,000 for labor and material. And again, we would have had enough room to make a good profit. So
Right.
we talked to the wholesaler. We called them back and forth a few times. We were a little uncomfortable with his number. We went lower.
Yeah, we asked for 115 because I don't want to be too positive with the after repair value. So I put like 220 as my after repair value. But then we give 115 offer. Even the worst case, we'll put a 60K there. So we're looking at 175K. So we still can work out with 40K profit. So now we're gonna wrap up and tell you for each house what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and the price. So from the first one, what I like it is the location. Number 1, location is so good in the established neighborhood, blue collar neighborhood, good for rental, lots of shops there. And another thing I like it's small. It's a 3-2. It's only 1,300 square footage. And another thing I like it is the price is not bad. It jumped from 139 to 129K. And another thing I like it is the after repair value. It's potential. At least you could get a 220K as after repair value, and you have potential to go up to 255, which is a sold comp on the same street. So we are pretty confident if we can make it nice, even now the interest rate goes higher, maybe slow down a little bit, but at least 220K is pretty possible to get it. And another thing we liked about it is we have our contractor already went there. He gave us some pretty confident number about the house. So we are looking at 50K to 60K to fix it. If we could get about 120K, even 125, I think the number works for us. The thing I don't like it is this house does need a lot of work, as you see. A lot of change, even electricity need to be changed. Maybe all the plumbing need to be changed, the AC. So the rehab cost is quite much. So we do like the house. It's some number in our range.
So after looking at the second house, there's some positives and negatives that we saw about it. The positives, big acreage and a pretty affordable price. This one they were asking $135, which is pretty good. We've actually dealt with this type of property before. Before we left Houston, that was the last property we did. It was a trailer on a big acreage. And so we know that they can sell pretty quick at a good price. So that was one of the best things about it. Now, negatives, obviously you saw it was a big mess and it was hard to see all of the property. We did talk to the tenant and he said that, yeah, he really didn't feel any soft spots or saw any big things that we couldn't see. But that can be an issue because as you saw, there's so many big spaces that were covered that we couldn't even get to. And we're talking about large parts of the house. So you could remove those boxes and there could be soft spots, rotted wood, who knows what could be under there. But luckily we went there with our summer agent. And she had told us that this property had very few offers and showings. They actually even had a showing where they invited multiple investors to come and they canceled it because nobody showed up. And nobody had really put offers, only very few people had seen it. So we figured, hey, we could probably get a good deal on this one. If the numbers work, just like anything else, we can make this property work. So we thought about it, we discussed it a little bit, and we had a number in mind. But we went home first that day and we discussed a little bit more about the two properties. The next day, we talked about it and we went to go see a third property first.
I'm so excited to talk about the third property because I found it at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Every time I look for deals, I couldn't sleep until I saw this one. I like the price. I like what I saw. It's a brick house, sit on nearly 3 acres. And I told my husband, yeah, let's go tomorrow. And I text the wholesaler and he said, oh, it's open. Just go to have a look.
So we ended up driving out to the property. It's pretty far north of Houston. From where we were staying is a little over an hour in a town or an area that's known as Cold Spring. So we arrived at the property and we instantly loved it. We saw it. It was a nice house. The acreage was very clean and clear. It was a brick house, metal roof, and we found out it was a very new roof. And so we walked in, and again, to our surprise, as compared to the other two houses, very clean, almost move-in ready. I mean, depending on your level, you may want to fix some things up, but you could definitely move in there. And so we looked around, and there were some things we didn't like about the property, of course, like any property. As you notice, there's a lot of wood in that first living area. They have that kind of split log that looks like a log cabin. Not too crazy about that. And one of the big things that we noticed was the foundation. That we saw a lot of unleveling, which we knew a little bit about. He told us about the addition in the back was not level, but it was much more than that. So we walked around the property. We really liked the inside. Like I said, very clean, small cosmetic flip. The outside was clean, didn't have to come in and throw a bunch of garbage away or clean out all the undergrowth. It was pretty much ready to go. So this property, they were only asking $120, which in itself was a great price. So we thought about it, we drove around, and we actually ended up talking to the neighbor. And the neighbor told us about the neighborhood. She was very friendly. And one thing she mentioned that really caught our ear was that the lady had a warranty on the foundation. She had actually fixed the foundation and had a lifetime warranty that was transferable. Perfect. We were like, oh, that's a really, really good thing to know. We called the wholesaler. He verified that for us. He said, yep, she has the paperwork. It's ready to go. And so we thought about it. We put him on mute. Us being investors, we still tried to get a better price, even though we knew it was already a good price. We asked for $115. He said, nah, my margins are really tight. 120 is really the best I can do. And he'd only put the house on the market just a few hours. Like Landy said, when she saw it at 2, he had only put it on at 10 o'clock at night. So we were probably the first ones out there. We said, okay, this is too good of a deal. Let's give him what he's asking, 120. And he said, yeah, that's fine. So we said, what do we need to do? So I'll send over the earnest money, sign the assignment contract, which we did on our phones, right? The wonders of modern world. We just signed on our phones, got home, sent over the earnest money, and we pretty much locked up the property. Now we're waiting just to close it. We should close it maybe tomorrow or Monday at the latest. So once it's locked up, we're ready to go. We want to bring you along with this journey here. Oh, and one last thing. We may have a surprise on this property, so stay tuned.
One more thing, Rod forgot to mention why the third one is a good deal. Because they're asking for 120, we got it 120, but after repair value, it's very potential. The recent comps we saw, it's already over 300K. So we will see what we could get out of it.
All right, so that was our property tour of the 3 properties. What do you think? Do you agree with our decision? What did you think of the other properties? Were you surprised by how messy they were inside? Do you think we got a good deal? Let us know in the comments. Stay tuned to our next episode, where we'll tell you what we decided to do with the house. Did we decide to keep it to flip, rent, Airbnb? Let us know what you think we should do with the property. See you next time.
Space, I like it. And you put the animals there. That's right. I think that's the original purpose. They have the fence. I like this area.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah. Big tree house out here. There's a couple of big trees. We put a tree house.
Yeah, that's your future project.
I'm not gonna climb a tree that high.